Okay, let's look at a few charts in preparation for next week. I'm not sure I have much to say on this, so take it or leave it. I'll try to be concise. Starting with a favorite of mine, US dollar yen. As I mentioned earlier this week, there's not much clarity on this since 2015. It's looking like everything since 2015 has been in threes. What I'm looking at is whether this part here makes another three-wave correction higher, because you can call this section three waves right here. And it's a question if we have another three-wave move up to make one larger segment, or if this makes a three-wave move down here to correct this and then heads a bit higher. So just to clarify that on a lower time frame. Actually, let me start with the weekly. How this past week closed, it looks like the candle for this past week is engulfing this one. It just swallows it up, just like this one here from 2 weeks back engulfed this bearish one. So it's possible that in the coming week we will see a more downward move because of the engulfing nature of the previous week's candle. And as I mentioned a few times, there's still a possible gap here of a point or two. So it's possible we see a downward move to 110.83 or whatever that level is, where the gap still may be, and then a further move up. Nothing has changed on my monthly. I'm still looking at sideways to up stochastics, which should see this resolve to the upside above 118. So it's a question locally this coming week is if we see another move down. Now on the 4 hour, this segment here over the past week, the decline, some may argue that this is actually, I'm not going to guess what some may argue. In my opinion, this is a corrective move. I went over this step by step. This looks like an expanding wedge with a correction here and a downward thrust to make one big three-wave move here. There's a three-wave move correction here in a flag, and it looks like we had another three-wave move down. And how this ended on Friday was with divergence. Sorry, 1 second. Bullish divergence and a 1 hour bullish hammer. And the combination of that is pretty lethal. So the whole move is 3 waves down. Now the question will be, is this going to be the entire correction of this? Or is this just one part of the down move? We see a corrective move here, which will be the telltale sign. We'll probably see another upward move out of this. And if we see a 3-wave correction here, there may be a further downward move, as mentioned on the weekly, back towards 110.80. I don't know. I will have to see how it appears locally if there's a flag here, because the weekly does suggest it has another downward move in store, or it's possible for that to appear. And the whole view on that then, if that does appear, would be a bigger 3-wave correction and then an upward move back up. Alternatively, what I'll be looking for is if there's a bull flag here, we may have the entire correction here, and this may ultimately be it, and we have another upward move. I don't know how it's going to go, but the weekly suggests there may be a bit of downside to come. So let's see how that appeared. Overall, I'm still looking for higher in this pair. Okay, I got whipped around by over-analyzing on Friday on this. Just to go over Euro Pound, there are 2 views. I have it as 5 waves into here. A possible 3-wave truncated correction for 2. And this is a leading diagonal here for 1. And now we've seen wave 2 and we can move down here. That's one possibility. And just to continue with that idea, on wave 4, on the 4-hour chart here, it's looking so far like this is just one 3-wave move. If that's going to not be a 3-wave move, the leading diagonal is right here. So if that's a three-wave correction out of a leading diagonal, we should see a flag and a sell-off, basically. The bullish view on this is that we have 5 waves into here. That's staying either way. We have 3 waves up for A, 3 waves down for B, and now we're going to see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for C of a flat, and then a downward move. So either way, it's going to be bearish, in my opinion. Ultimately, it's a question if we see this manifest itself quickly in a 3-wave move and then down, or if we see a bigger correction. So for the bullish case, this is going to have to slow down, pardon me, not slow down, stabilize and turn higher from here, because right now it's looking like a 3-wave move. What I would say on the daily is that Friday's candle basically engulfs Thursday's. So if it can build a base here on Monday and Tuesday, it has the chance to head up. It's just that locally it's still finding resistance on the broken trend line, which appears to be valid. So it can still go either way in this case, and we'll need to see on the 4-hour time frame and the daily how this comes out over the next couple of days. This coming week is a full trading week. There are no bank holidays this week, and there's quite a lot of news. So it's a full week. The slow weeks are going to be Christmas week, which is next, or the one after coming, and New Year's week as well, but they shouldn't be too slow. Christmas, yeah, the one after will have some action, I think. And then it'll take off again the second week of January. But this coming week should be full activity. So Euro US dollar. I know some Elliott Wave analysts are viewing, what I was looking for on Thursday before the ECB was one more downward move to complete Y. Y actually completed on Wednesday, and that became clear before the ECB with this reversal 4-hour candle here. What we've seen on the 1 hour, I know some Elliott Wave analysts are viewing this as a 5-wave advance here. I am not so positive about that, because in my view, although, forget the although, in my view, this part here looks like a 3-wave move. So I'm personally more inclined to view this as 3 waves, correction in 3 waves, or you can do it, count it differently as 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, something like that. But it's the second part here that does not look like a 4th wave to me. It looks like a correction. For the bulls, they will have to hold this last low on the 12th of December and to see it turn higher. It's not looking good at the moment, but it can still happen. They'll need to stabilize it on Monday and Tuesday and to turn it back around. There is the possibility for that. Either way, I'm looking for this to ultimately resolve to the downside, as I mentioned with the weekly stochastics, kind of the opposite of US dollar yen, and earlier in the year, Euro New Zealand and US Canadian. I am looking for this ultimately to head down. Now on the COT report for the euro, it made just before the ECB on Thursday, the Tuesday print of COT positions came out as negative bullish 113,000 contracts, speculator or non-commercial contracts, and that is an all-time, well, at least to 2008 high. It's way above the previous highs, above this one in 2011. So that's an extreme, and I would suggest that that is a bearish extreme. Traders are too far committed to the long side, and usually in these extremes, except in exceptional bullish circumstances, exceptional bullish trends, from my data, I've seen them reverse. So I will be looking for this to sell off either next week, or if we do get another high to fill the gap. There is still a gap present here in the market. What is that? On 1st December, 4th December. So if it does fill that gap, I will still be looking for it to come back down. The bulls will have to stabilize on Monday if it's going to work out. Otherwise, we're looking at a 3-wave correction. One thing I can see materializing in this is a 3-wave correction like this, and then possibly a more bullish view. Or if we see this move up a little bit higher to fill the gap, then I would see probably a more major decline to follow. So I am bearish on this. It's a question of whether from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or from a little bit higher. But my view on this is bearish, and also keep in mind we've got a gap here. Doesn't mean it's going to be filled, but worth being aware of. Pound, I have much less to say about this. Actually, I have nothing to say about this. This market has been flipping about quite a lot, so I'm just standing aside from this. US dollar, yen, euro, pound. I like the look of two Aussie charts. I think these will be the last ones I cover now. Aussie US dollar. It looks like 5 waves have been completed into here. Five waves into here. I'll be looking for a buy setup in the coming days to see a larger 3-wave correction, or if it turns into something more bullish, at least another up move. I think we have a low here, a trend support with a 5-wave decline right here, just highlighted, and I'm looking for an upward move at least of in some manner. So if we can turn this into some kind of bullish flag, 3-wave correction of some sort, this should be a buy setup to come in Aussie US dollar. Another very good pair, I think may become a very good pair, is Aussie New Zealand. I think I went over this in the past video, so I'm not going to repeat it. The wedging shape is just speculation, but I would say that the decline from 24 October appears corrective. And as such, I'm looking for it ultimately to turn higher. You can wait for the breakout here, or you can look for a lower time frame type of support. So far, the decline on Friday following Thursday's bullish move, it's not yet stabilizing. So I want to see how this materializes. There may be a buy setup to come in this on Monday or Tuesday. I don't know. I will be bullish on a breakout here above 110. And the weekly stochastics look like they still have a bit more downside to come. So I want to see it stabilize on the daily and weekly, have a minor breakout on the line just showed at about 110. And then we can see this move higher on the monthly still. The monthly is still trending up. So Aussie New Zealand looks good for a bullish setup soon. Aussie US dollar looks good for a bullish setup this coming week. And US dollar yen needs a bit of resolution. Same with euro pound, but trades are coming in those. And just a word on Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been easy. That's amazing. Bitcoin has been easy in one respect. Every correction has been a simple 3-wave correction. Again and again and again and again. 3-wave corrections all around. One big 3-wave correction party all the way through. You can see this on all time frames going way, way back to 900. And even way back probably to the original move to, what was it, 1200 down to 200 or so a few years back. I have no bloody clue how to count it on the way up, but I do know that the corrections have been simple. I know as well that there is no negative bearish divergence on the 4-hour or the daily or the weekly. So what that tells me is that this still has upside potential. I'm not looking for a top. I'm judging corrections, and each 3-wave correction has been pretty straightforward so far, going way back in this. That was probably one of the harder ones, but still it became apparent after some time. But the last few, during this like manic upswing from about 9,000 upwards, these have been really simple, straightforward corrections. So there's no bearish divergence, there's no limit on this. It's looking higher and it continues to look higher. And yeah, that's all. So I will leave it there. And I rather linked to a good COT report about coffee, euro, and crude oil. So that's on the Twitter page if you want to see it. That had some good data on it. Okay, bye-bye.